Government wins vote. Well, boy, this is brilliant. The government come to the Senate to tell the Auditor General to force and put pressure to extend the time to do accounts that they couldn't account for before. They come there after writing pre-action protocol, after telling lies on the Auditor General, after coming in the Senate and creating fictional positions. But check the Express. Government wins vote 23-6. First of all, in the Senate, it have 15 PNM and 6 UNC. It have 9 independent that are appointed by the president, PNM. And yet, Express celebratory mood. And what they celebrating? That the PNM, for the first time in history, under Colm Dwen Imbert, are unable to provide the Auditor General with properly substantiated accounts that could be put into a report form. That 3.39 billion was mistakenly left out in revenue. That 2.5 billion, they say that they could substantiate, but they didn't substantiate it yet, because the Auditor General has seen it. And 780 million, they can't substantiate at all. And then $1 billion in expenditure, no paperwork whatsoever. And the Express celebrates with the PNM that the Senate was used to allow the PNM time to ratchet the accounts. And that's a celebration. Well, let the Express celebrate, because I tell you, let's stop buying it, stop reading it. You, the people, have to understand that for the first time in history, this has happened. Never before. No Minister of Finance has ever gone through this. The government won, and then hear what the Express say. 9 of 8 independents back the motion. Well, boy, any children doing SCA and thing, don't read Express, 9 of 8. Express always get 9 of 8. 9 of 8 independents back motion. National newspaper Express. Brilliant. I feel brighter having read this article. I feel like I got a little bit smarter. Thank you, Express. Boy, the one is really PNM. Dotish. The government won a handsome victory last night. This is Rhea Tate. Rhea Tate. Did you ever go down by Goddard Park? Did you ever went anywhere and saw 3 dogs? Went down a step at a parrot, into a dungeon kind of office and saw a red couch? Did you? Let us write an article on that for me now. Explain if that ever happened. I don't know. Let me know now, right? Because the government won a handsome victory. This is a national newspaper. This is what creates the perception in the masses of the population's mind. You are talking about a government who failed its constitutional, legal, legitimate duty to provide the Auditor General in a timely manner with an account of the expenditure and the revenue of your taxpayers' money. So much so, they've created an imbroglio that they are attacking an independent office holder using the safety and security and privilege of the lower house and upper house to cast aspersions, to denigrate and attack a human being who nobody knew, who's not involved in politics in any way, casting aspersions on her character, calling her actions bizarre, calling into question her mental stability and capability. That's what the PNM did. All because the Auditor General swore on the Bible to do her duty for Trinidad and Tobago, to carry out her job and duties according to the Constitution and the law. And the Express is celebrating that those who didn't follow the law, those who didn't do their job, those who made errors, those who cannot correct the errors, those who cannot account for billions of dollars of taxpayer money, they won a victory. So the old teams won a victory, and the Express celebrates. This is the country. You all want to wonder why we have Rowley? Because of this kind of thing. And then you have the Guardian and the Newsday and TV6 and CNC3 and 13 radio stations. The government won a handsome victory last night as it received the support of all but one of the 9 independent senators. That's a victory. When you have Paula May Weeks, who allowed Keith Rowley, the PNM Prime Minister, to come and whisper in she ears and intercept a merit list and force and encourage a chairman of a police service commission to act in breach, to misbehave in public or in public office, to remove and withdraw a merit list, to install and remove a commissioner of police and install a puppet, and then put a next president who is more PNM because them preaching the gospel of the PNM. You are then claiming that the independent senators voted with the PNM and that's a victory. Have you been watching the Senate for the last 8 years, 9 years? Did you watch Helen Drayton, who jumped out and become a PNM chairman of the NIB? Did you read and listen to Helen Drayton? Did you read and listen to some of the independent PNM senators? Do you know there are independent PNM senators on PNM board? Did you see independent senators voting on their own sister matter with the president, about the president who appointed them? And you all find these things are funny. It's not funny. We're making a mockery of the Constitution, and then the Express is celebrating incompetence, corruption, poor corporate governance, bullying. The government won a handsome victory last night as it received the support of all but one of the 9 independent senators, extending the reported period. Imbert said the Auditor General could not result from the letter written by Freedom Law Chambers, which had the astonishing allegation that he, Imbert, sought to backdate the amended accounts. Shouldn't the AG apologize to me for putting a blatant out-truth out there in the public domain? Now this is Colman, but I already told you. Colman but creates an argument and then argues with himself to say he did good. So he will come to the parliament and say, people were saying we should devalue the dollar. Nobody, not a man, woman, or child say that. Then he will go and say, well, if we said we did not devalue the dollar, but look, we bad, but we better. So in this case now, Freedom Law Chambers wrote a pre-action protocol on behalf of the Auditor General. And at every junction, anybody reading it understands that MOF means Ministry of Finance. Nowhere in the letter does anybody make any allegation that the Minister of Finance did anything with the accounts, that he submitted accounts, that he submitted a new account, that he backed it. None of that. He comes and concocts that concoction to make it seem like his attack on the Auditor General makes sense. But he got caught. But while they're saying that they celebrate, here the Anna Ramdas in the Express though, right? So the vote, the independent senators vote, all right. Because what else they go do really and truly? Because these clowns have messed up. The country's in a mess. But they didn't say that they just vote because they had to, you know. Because when they spoke, when they contributed, here Thompson I, who, let me leave she is. However, she saw no wrong in the stance adopted by the Auditor General. She seems to me to be trying to do her job to the best of her ability, and everyone else should get on with theirs. That's Thomas I. She votes with the PNM, but she is saying the Auditor General is right and doing a job, and these men are using the power to bully and try to control the Auditor General. Senator Independent, Senator Vera, I will support the motion as every sensible person would. Here's Vera. He said, if responsible people assert there are conspicuous discrepancies in the public accounts, it would be irresponsible to blindly disregard those concerns. We should have enough faith and confidence in the Auditor General's integrity, independence, objectivity, and competence to believe that she will do the needful, and we should be doing everything we can to ensure that the country's audited accounts are accurate and reliable. If this motion can avoid a legal showdown between the Office of the Attorney General and the Auditor General, he will support it. that is not no victory. That is acquiescence to the incompetence and corruption of the PNM to save face of Trinidad and Tobago. But the Express is claiming that's a victory. What could be a victory in such a scandal